Welcome back everyone to Mount Blade Warband as the Faith Militant. Now in the last episode we successfully defended the castle of Claw Isle, and I was reminded in the comment section by the Avion 12 that despite all of our piousness and zealotry, we are mere mortal men, so taking wounds in battle should have consequences. Therefore, I am introducing a so-called wound system. Basically, every time that our character gets knocked out in battle, we're gonna count that as one wound, and after 7 wounds, the 7 for the 7 aspects of God, our character will be dead forever, which means I will have to play as a different character. So far, we've already taken our first out of 7 wounds in the defense of the Claw Isle, and that means if we suffer 7 wounds and Sir Theodan dies, the Most Devout, the Council of the Most Devout, will have to pick a new command of the warrior sons who will lead the Faith Militant in battle. Yes, so now you might be wondering, what is the Council of the Most Devout? I've mentioned it several times, but what exactly is it, and maybe even more importantly, how can I join? Now, first of all, the Most Devout is a council of the highest ranking clergy of the Faith of the Seven. Now, most members of the Most Devout actually died during the sack of King's Landing at the hands of the savage Northmen, and now we basically have no spiritual leadership at this moment, so therefore we must rebuild it. But as a part of the reformation that was caused by the Sparrow movement, we're gonna have to make some changes. The new council of the Most Devout that we will rebuild will only consist of 7 members, and each of them representing one aspect of God.
The Father's face is stern and strong. He sits and judges right from wrong. He weighs our lives, the short and long, and loves the little children.
Representing the Father above in his justice, we have the High Sparrow. Now, he will undoubtedly be the most important member of the Most Devout. He's the one who will lead them and settle all disputes that they might have. Now, he has been with us on campaign so far, but I think he would be much better suited to work as minister, to act as minister here in our headquarters at Claw Isle. So I want to talk to this redhead right here who has so far administered our realm, and I would like to replace him with the High Sparrow himself. Yes, I think this is a much better place for him. You, sir, have served us quite well, but as I mentioned, the High Sparrow is more suited for this, and also it's going to be better for us, because in battle, the High Sparrow doesn't really help us, but we need to appoint poor fellows or warrior sons to protect him. And I think it's much better if he actually has the safety of the walls surrounding him.
The mother gives the gift of life and watches over every wife. Her gentle smile ends all strife. She loves her little children.
The aspect of the mother is currently not represented in our Council of the Most Devout, so therefore it is open for your application. There's a few restrictions to it. First of all, it must be a Septa, right? Because all of the female aspects I want to be represented by Septas, whereas the male aspects of God are going to be represented by Septans. I think that makes a lot of sense. And the mother is a bit special. She's going to be different from most of the other members of the Most Devout because she is very merciful. Therefore, she will not be fighting. She will be with us on campaign, but she's going to be our healer. She's going to be working as ambassador. She's going to be sent on missions, and as I said, she will be our healer, but she will not actually fight. So if this is something that you want, then please apply. As I said, I will talk more about all the details on how to apply a little bit later, but if you don't want your character to just stay back behind in the lines behind and tend to the wounded, then the next aspect might be more suited for you.
The warrior stands before the protecting us wherever we go. With sword and shield and spear and bow, he guards the little children.
The next spot on the Council of the Most Devout is representing the warrior and his strength, courage, and bravery in battle. This character is going to lead the poor fellas in battle. So just like we have Sir Bonifer leading the Holy 100, our cavalry, this Septon will lead the poor fellows. So if you want to have your character lead the poor fellows and represent the warrior on the Council of the Most Devout, then please apply for him.
The Crone is very wise and old, and sees our fates as they unfold. She lifts her lamp of shining gold to lead the little children.
The aspect of the Crone is currently represented by Septa Unella. Now, just like the Septa representing the mother, she will act as our healer, but as you could see from our previous campaigns, she is a bit more ferocious. She tries to get into the thick of battles, so I might give her a weapon for some point, but I'm not sure. She's actually meant to be a healer, just like the Septa representing the mother. However, she's a bit different than the mother, because she, in her infinite wisdom, will lend her ear to the commoners, and therefore she's going to be the voice of everyone who is not personally on the Council of the Most Devout. So whenever there's a big decision to be made, our council will of course decide, but the commoners, you guys, the viewers that do not have their own character in this series, you will get to participate in a straw poll, and whatever decision you, as the majority of you reaches, this is the stance that Septa Unella will take in the Council of the Most Devout.
The smith, he labors day and night to put the world of men to rights. With hammer, plough, and fire bright, he builds for little children.
The aspect of the smith and his labor is currently not represented on the Council of the Most Devout, and therefore open for your application. Now, just like the other aspects of faith, the Septon representing the smith has a little twist to it. He is going to act as our engineer. He's going to build our siege weaponry for our battles, for the battles to come. So far, that was not necessary, but I promise you it will be important as time goes on. Now, he is of course going into battle with a warhammer, with a mighty warhammer. It could be two-handed, one-handed. This is something you guys can decide for your character, and he will either go into battle with the poor fellas led by the Septon representing the warriors, or he will stay back with the archers that I will talk about in a second.
The maiden dances through the sky. She lives in every lover's sigh. Her smile teaches birds to fly, gives dreams to little children.
The aspect of the Maiden is currently not represented on the Council of the Most Devout, and therefore also open for your application. Now, someone has suggested that maybe Brienne of Tarth could represent the Maiden on our council, but she's infatuated with Lord Renly Baratheon, and he calls himself king. And since we do not accept him as the rightful king, she will not join the Faith Militant. So therefore, we need someone else to represent the aspect of the Maiden. And just like the other female aspects of God, I want a Septa to represent the Maiden. Now, she is going to be the one to lead the archers, our ranged forces, into battle, because they're going to be a little bit separate from the poor fellas. So either she's going to fight on her own, lead them on her own, or the engineer who's going to represent the Smith, will fight together with her. That is something that you guys can decide. But she will go into battle with bow and arrow at the very least. She might also have a two-handed sword or one-handed sword and shield. That is something up to debate. But she will be the leader of our archers, and she will also get the chance to name our archer group, because right now we don't have a special name for it. We have the Warrior Sons, our elite group, we have the Holy 100 for our cavalry, and the Poor Fellas for our infantry, but our archers are just called ranged, so you can also come up with a name for that.
The 7 gods who made us all are listening if we should call. So close your eyes, you shall not fall. They see you, little children.
Last, but certainly not least, we have the aspect of the stranger, currently represented on the Council of the Most Devout by Sir Vlad the Ruthless. Now, this character is of course very special because he is not a Septon. He is represented by one of the Warrior Sons, but a peculiar Warrior Son. A Warrior Son who does not use a horse, and one who, unlike the others, has no virtue as his nickname. We have Sir Theodan the True, we have Sir Lancel the Loyal, and we have Sir Bonifer the Good. And then we have Sir Vlad the Ruthless. Well, that is the stranger for you. He's always a bit different. He represents death and the unknown, so therefore he is, well, very unique, but still a very important aspect of the 7. Now that I introduced all the 7 aspects of God to you, I think it's time that we talk about how exactly you can apply for a position on the Council of the Most Devout. Now, there's one and only requirement, and that is to be a subscriber to this channel. If you're a subscriber, you can go ahead and leave your application in the comment section of any video of this series, and I will have a look at this. Now, what you need in your application is a name. You need a name for your Septon or Septa, just the first name though, and you also need to tell me which aspect you would like to represent. There's going to be, there's a section in the description of each and every video where I list all of the current members of the Most Devout, and of course also which positions are still open for application. So check that before you make your application, because I obviously don't want you to apply for a position that is already taken. So make sure you pick the one aspect that you want to represent, and I will need the name, and then you need to tell me why you joined the faith and what you mean to do in order to serve the 7, or perhaps what you have already done. So basically this is open end. You can leave as many background information, or as much background information, as many stories as you want in the comment section of this video and in the videos to come, because I will not fill the entire Council of the Most Devout immediately. It's going to be a long process, so you guys will have some time to come up with well, with interesting characters that have done great deeds for the 7. So now that you know how to become a character, I would quickly like to mention what you get from being on the Council of the Most Devout. Now, of course, as I've mentioned, there are certain decisions that will come up over the course of this series, and you will be able to have a say in that. Now, there's one very, very, very important decision that I do not want to reveal just yet, but there are some small decisions, such as which lords to accept, which lands to give to certain lords, the punishments for other lords, and all these kinds of things that will be decided by the Council of the Most Devout. And as I said, there's one really big decision that we will, that you guys will have to decide, and that will heavily impact the course of this series, I can guarantee, but I don't want to tease you too much. Now, I think with that done, we will have to get back to regular Mount Blade Warband. I know this took a long time, but it's important. It's important to structure our faith, the Order, and the Council of the Most Devout, because it's going to help us tremendously as we move forward. So I will make a quick cut here, and we'll come back and resume the regular Let's Play. Last episode, we finally ended the threat of the Demon King once and for all. It was actually our very own Sir Vlad the Ruthless who knocked out Stannis Baratheon during the siege of Claw Isle, so that's pretty impressive. But still, I'm a bit confused as to what happened with Stannis, because we had, after the siege, we had some sort of a ghost battle going on, and we did talk to Stannis, but then he he disappeared. He's not in a dungeon. We didn't find his corpse, so I assume he must have managed to escape. We'll see. I guess one thing I definitely want to check out is if Queen Selyse Florent is still in Dragonstone. We left her without anyone protecting her, or I guess anyone keeping her in custody. So I don't know, she might be gone too. I guess we'll check that out. But before we make our way there, I would like to drop off some men in the garrison here. And I've decided that I want to give all of the regular troops here to Claw Isle. They're going to be a bit more numerous, but also a little bit weaker. So everyone that is not a veteran or elite force, I will drop off here, and then the rest of our troops we will have as garrison in Dragonstone. Now, right now, we don't actually have any threats. We're not officially at war with anyone. That is, of course, going to change very soon, but for now, you know, it's just... I just want to drop off these men so we can reinforce our company up to 250. That would obviously be insane, because then our order would be that much stronger. I think 3 Silent Sisters would be fine here. Yes, and then the rest will drop off at Dragonstone. Awesome. So we'll leave the Claw Isle, and I also mean to move our headquarters to Dragonstone, because it's just a more prestigious castle, a more formidable fortress, and it also has the painted table in its hall, so I guess that would help us planning the invasion of Westeros. And it's not really an invasion, it's more that we want to bring the Westerosi back on the path of righteousness, right? So anyway, let's move our court here. So we need a set of tools and a bolt of linen before we can do that. Okay, well, we'll hold off on that for now, but I definitely want to go ahead and get that. We will manage the garrison for sure. So we'll give all of these knights here. Let our Hornhill knights, heal up. That's probably a good idea. Our elite archers, yes. Get all of you into the garrison. So this is going to be a few less men than guarding Claw Isle, but obviously they're a bit stronger, or they're actually a lot more trained up, so they should do a good job. And then 2 Silent Sisters is fine. Okay, so we have Sir Aemon Theodan the True, we have Aemon the Squire, Lancel, and Bonifer, Sir Vlad, and Septa Unella. The High Sparrow is currently our minister at the Claw Isle, right? 65, and you have 41. Okay, that's looking pretty good. That should at least deter any raiders from attacking us. Okay, so now where do we go? We have the Vale. We probably can't recruit any more troops because we just did that like only a couple weeks ago. So probably Dawn is where I want to go. But before we do that, I might want to stop by and Hull and see if we can buy what was it? Tools and linen? I think it was. So yeah, let's check that out first and see if we can get this stuff. So we definitely have some tools. Cheap tools for 480. That seems a bit pricey, actually. We also have some fine cloth. No, we need linen, right? Okay, so I think I'm actually going to hold off. I won't buy anything just yet because that seems a bit expensive. We'll check some of the other towns, and I guess in the meantime, I will go around the villages, visit the villages, various villages on the way, and I will recruit some more troops. So I will quickly go off camera, and I will come back as soon as we have found some cloth and tools, I guess. Oh no, it wasn't cloth, it was linen. Anyways, I'll see you guys in a second. So I'm currently at the Inn of the Stony Sept because we've been traveling quite far and we finally need some place to rest. We have so far gathered quite a few men, some Dragonstone levies, we have Riverlanders and even Westermen in our party, which is kind of amazing, but still we have a long way to go in order to restore our order. We have to train up these men, and of course we need to get even more. But while I was here together with my squire, we were just checking out what kinds of people are hanging out here. We found someone very interesting. We have, well, not very interesting, but we found a holy man, or at least it looks like that. Berengar Perrin seems to be his name. That's what the tavern manager told me, and I think we should talk to him. I mean, after all, he looks like a man of the Seven, so we'll see what he has to say. May the Father above judge you wisely. I sense that you are a great sinner. Okay, I'm not really, but I suppose we're all sinners, right? But Anyways, who are you to judge me? Yes. Oh, I am the greatest of sinners, descended from a great line of sinners. House Perrin was once pious and just, until my dishonorable ancestor traveled to Lys with Aerion Brightflame in his exile. Interesting. Very interesting that this name pops up right now. Anyways, when Aerion died from drinking wildfire, my forefather dipped the servants in the same substance and was responsible for the great fire that destroyed the western quarter of the city. Wow, that is indeed a terrible sin. When he returned to our ancestral castle, he burned the local septon. Oh, okay, so this is where the actual sins begin. As an offering to a vile new god, and tortured anyone who refused to convert to his new faith. Well, we know the dangers of this demon god. I believe I know exactly which god you're speaking of. As a result, my family was outlawed, and we have been wandering the world ever since. To atone for my ancestors' sinful life, I've joined the faith. That's very good of you, and have been ordained a septon. The father guides me, and the mother shows me mercy. The warrior gives me strength, and the maiden aids me in keeping my vows. The smith guides me in labor, and the crone grants me wisdom. Yes, travel with me, my friend. I have friends who are in need of saving. Well, you know what? I must actually say, this person seems very genuine. And here's one thing. We need people to join the Seven. We need people to fight for our cause. And Baranga Perrin could maybe be convinced to hold lands once again. I mean, he has, it seems as if he has joined the faith and forsaken all his lands and titles, but then again, he never had any lands and titles because he was exiled in the first place. So maybe he would like to join us and become the first lord, because the warrior sons have sworn an oath that we will not hold any lands. So therefore, I cannot hold lands, rightfully. So we need lords to do that for us. So, you know what? Maybe Baranga Perrin would join us here. That'd be amazing. Very well, the world needs to be brought back into the light of the Seven. I agree. I'll travel with you and spread the faith. Well, that sounds very good. So may the warrior grant your arm strength, of course. Let's be on our way. Before I can travel with you, you'll need to grant a small gift to the faith. 2,500 silver coins should be sufficient. I'll make sure it's sent to the Great Sept in King's Landing. Well, here's the thing. I don't think the Great Sept of King's Landing is really where you should put this. I guess I'll agree to this, but we'll have to discuss where you send that money. I'm sure that we will come to an arrangement. But for now, let's have Baranga Perrin join our party. That's very nice. I think he will make a great first lord, but maybe he should get a little bit of a better outfit. We'll have to think about this. Anyways, I guess for now though, I will have to end this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and don't forget to actually check out the amazing artists, the singer Carleen, and the artist whose name I currently forgot, who was making the pictures when I introduced the Council of the Most Devout. Check out the links I've left in the description, and maybe even as a comment, because these guys are doing some really great work, and of course help me make this video a bit more fun. Anyways though, that was all I have to say for today. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope to see you guys next time.